Hey everyone, so today's video is sort of going to be a no-buy wrap-up type of video, just giving you my final thoughts on everything I learned in my no-buy year, which kind of turned into a low-buy year. If you haven't seen all of my no-buy videos, you can go back and watch them. I do have a playlist with all of them in it, so just go find that playlist if you would like to see more no-buy content. But today I wanted to talk about what I learned throughout my no-buy and sort of how I changed my habits, how my habits have changed, and also how my mindset has sort of changed and how I think about purchasing makeup when I do want to make purchases. So I hope this is helpful and just interesting for you guys to hear. I am still sick, so I'm kind of struggling through life right now, but I want to film videos for you guys because I love filming videos. So I just wanted to get some more content up for you, and I really hope you guys enjoy this. Let's just go ahead and get straight into it. So one of the first things I learned and sort of realized when it came to holding myself back from purchasing makeup and just using the makeup that I already have in my collection and just already really loving what I have is finding ways to repurpose products. This is a really great way to almost make the products in your collection feel like they are new because you're using them in different ways. For example, a lot of my cream and liquid blushes can be used for eyes, lips, and face. So you can really do anything you want with them. It's just kind of that mindset I usually have or previously had was just to use a product on the cheeks if it is a blush color, but that type of product can also be used on the eyes and lips technically, and it's not necessarily meant to be just a cheek product, so the formula is still made to work on your eyes and lips. So that's something I experimented a little bit more, and something that sort of helped me get through my no-buy year a little bit easier and actually helped me to get use out of the products in my collection. It's really helpful to just find different ways to use specific products, especially when it comes to project panning, because that can also help you use up products quicker if you're looking to get a lot of products out of your collection. So that is definitely one of the things that I learned very quickly, is just how to repurpose products and how repurposing products can make a product feel new. The next thing that helped me to not purchase makeup on my no-buy is to realize, even if I thought that a product was unique, if I think it's a really unique color or formula, it very well may be, but I like to go through my collection first, try to find colors or formulas that I have that could potentially be similar to that product. And this just kind of helps me almost get out the temptation of purchasing that product, because if I find a color that is similar, obviously I kind of know I don't need to purchase another product that I already have the same color of in my collection. So this definitely helped me, is when I was tempted by something, to actually physically go back and look through my collection to find similar products. And along with that is purchasing products that are actually unique. And a reason that my no-buy turned into a low-buy is because I eventually just sort of allowed myself to purchase products that were unique. For example, I didn't really have any cream blushes in my collection. While I could find a way to get around that and use like lipsticks or another type of product as a cream blush, I just decided to purchase myself some cream blushes because it was literally like consuming my whole life. Like every day I would go on the website, specifically Salt New York, because I wanted these cream blushes so badly. So I just decided to purchase them for myself. So if you find that there's a product that you're really wanting, that has been on your wish list for a while, that you know will add value to your collection and that you will actually get use out of, I would just allow myself to purchase it rather than sort of torturing myself with it and going back and looking at it over and over and over again, when really, if you have the money and you have the resources to get that product, I would just go ahead and purchase it instead of just sort of forcing myself to sort of hold myself back when I knew I really wanted this product and was going to purchase it anyways. Now, there are like smarter decisions you can make, is like waiting until there's a sale on a specific product, which is what I did with some single shadows I purchased on Black Friday, because I also knew I wanted to add some single shadows to my collection. So just being really thoughtful of my purchases and knowing what I already have in my collection, knowing what will actually bring value to my collection, and knowing when sort of the right time to purchase these products are, because you don't just want to go on like binge purchasing everything. The point of my no buy was sort of to make conscious purchasing decisions and sort of get a better mindset when it comes to purchasing makeup, which I think my no buy definitely did allow me to do this. And now I feel like I'm just a lot more logical when it comes to purchasing makeup, and I'm not super tempted by products generally, unless it's something that I like really, really want and know that I want to add to my collection eventually. I have now like sort of gotten a very almost short attention span to makeup products that I want. Like a new product that comes out, I might lust after it a little bit, but after a day or two, I won't really think about that product anymore. Whereas in the past, I would sort of just impulse purchase everything. If there was a sale on the website, right away I would go to that website and purchase everything I wanted, even if I didn't really want it that bad, just because it was on sale. And another thing that really, really helped me with impulse purchasing is making fantasy carts, because I find that it's just as exciting and fun to go on a website whose products you really, really want to try, and you want to almost just like do more research on their products and figure out, if you were to purchase from them, what specifically you would purchase. So I really love making fantasy carts, but not actually going through with my purchase and ordering it. So I will go on to a specific website if I'm really lusting after someone's products and just make a fantasy cart, add all the things to my cart that I want to try from that brand. And then when I go to like view my cart, I will almost like take things out of my cart that I don't necessarily really want, like act like I'm actually going to purchase it. But then when it gets down to like my final cart of the products that I want, I won't end up purchasing that. And I feel like that sort of almost cures my temptation to purchase those products, because you're going through the steps like you would purchase it. So it almost like tricks your mind into thinking that you are purchasing products when really you're not. You're just making sort of a fantasy cart. So that way, when these products have been on your wish list for so long and you finally want to bite the bullet and purchase them, you know exactly what you want to purchase, exactly what you are purchasing and how much it's going to be. But you're not really giving into those initial temptations and end up impulse purchasing, which just feels a lot better in general. And a lot of times that I do end up making fantasy carts, I will kind of make the cart realize that the price that it comes out to, and then kind of talk myself out of buying these products. So it also works in that way too, kind of talking yourself out of a lot of products that I think that I want, but I don't necessarily like want or need to purchase right now. So that way I will just add these products that I know I really want to my wish list or something like that, to have them sort of for future reference, but I won't end up purchasing them right then. And this definitely helps to avoid a lot of impulse purchases. Another type of mindset change that also really helps me throughout my no buy is just realizing how long it takes to go through products. So if you're thinking of buying, for example, a bronzer or a blush, for me, blushes take so long to go through. So I know I already have so many blushes in my collection. If I were to purchase another one, in reality, it probably would just get neglected in my collection, because I already have so many, and that's a product that I take so long to go through. So I know I'm never really going to use up all of the blushes that I already have in my collection. So it kind of holds me back from making those impulse purchases, because I know I have so much in my collection that I'm probably just going to end up neglecting another blush if I do end up purchasing it. And another thing with this is it kind of had the opposite effect, where I know some products that I go through relatively quickly are like concealers and primers. So I would sort of allow myself to purchase maybe more primers than I would have, or than I actually need, because I know I go through them relatively quickly. But for me, that wasn't a big issue, because I do go through them quickly. So I wasn't accumulating so many in my collection and then never going through them. So I have sort of maybe accumulated more like primers and concealers than I want, but I know I'm going to be able to finish them off in a shorter time span, and I'm going to be able to finish them off at all. So it doesn't really bother me that I maybe have one or two more primers than I need in my collection, because in reality, I'm only using one primer at once. And it also depends on the specific category, because for primers, for me, I really just use hydrating primers. It's not like a blush where you have 10 different shades and depending on your look, you pick a specific shade of blush. So like primers and concealers for me are not really where makeup temptations come in. So I really had to control myself with like blush purchasing, specifically mostly blushes, and also like highlighters, bronzers. I knew I didn't really need to bring any of those into my collection, but a lot of those types of products don't tempt me. Also like lip gloss type products. My obsession this past year was definitely lip glosses and blushes, specifically cream blushes. So those were the sort of specific categories where I really had to hold myself back, but I didn't really have issues with temptations in categories like bronzer or foundation or like lipstick, really, because I rarely wear lipstick. Obviously, it's going to be different from person to person, and you kind of have to figure out for yourself what those specific categories are where you need to sort of control yourself a little bit more. And maybe when it comes to those categories, you put more thought into what you purchase. For example, for me, because I'm sort of obsessed with cream blushes right now, I almost put more thought into the products that I'm purchasing that are cream blushes, because I know it takes me so long to go through cream blushes and I only want to bring in cream blushes that I know I'm actually going to use. So kind of just realizing how long it takes you to go through each type of product. And obviously this comes with experience. If you are doing project panning, that's kind of how I learned how long it takes me to go through products. So I feel like project panning is also really helpful to sort of figure out how long it takes you to go through products, what products in your collection you really love, which ones you might not love and kind of just want to get out of your collection. So project panning can also be another very helpful way to sort of hold yourself back in your no-buy, because you are focusing on project panning. So it's sort of something else to focus on rather than bringing in new products. You're focusing on getting older products out of your collection. Another thing that helped me with my no-buy is I would sort of realize that I was getting very overwhelmed with all the new makeup releases, and I would go on Instagram or even YouTube, but YouTube for me isn't as sort of toxic as Instagram is. So I would notice that I was getting a little bit overwhelmed and I kind of just wanted to buy everything. So when I started to feel like this, I would just completely stop going on Instagram. Sometimes stop going on YouTube, but YouTube can also be helpful for me because I follow a lot of people that are project panners or like conscious consumerism focused makeup enthusiasts. So YouTube wasn't as much of a temptation for me as Instagram, because Instagram, you're obviously seeing all those new products. While you can still like follow project pan accounts, I also followed the accounts that showed me all of the new makeup. So also being choosy with who you follow and deciding to unfollow some people if they just don't make you feel good. Maybe if they just post all of the new makeup, that's an account you might want to unfollow during your no-buy year. So I found that just not going on Instagram for a week or so really helped me with being less overwhelmed by all the new makeup products and just overwhelmed in general with wanting to purchase makeup, because I wasn't seeing everyone else's collection. I wasn't seeing what everyone else was using. While I usually always am watching YouTube videos, I find because I'm very selective with the people that I subscribe to on YouTube, I mostly follow project panners and people that make me want to like curate my collection a little bit more. So that's not as much as a temptation for me to purchase new makeup as Instagram would be. So I find that taking a break from social media every once in a while is really good, just for like my mental state and also just to help with my no-buy so I'm not as tempted by those products. So that is definitely something throughout my no-buy that I sort of realized I had to do every once in a while, or else it would just get so overwhelming. But that is it for a lot of the things I learned throughout my no-buy. I mean, there's probably a lot of little stuff subconsciously that I don't even realize that I do now that I did before, or vice versa. So let me know down below in the comments if you have done a no-buy year or if you're looking forward to doing a no-buy year. I do have some other no-buy content on my channel. Like I said, I have a whole playlist with all those videos, so make sure to go check that out. And I really hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope it was helpful in some way, or at least interesting, and inspired you to maybe do a no buy or try a low buy or something of the sort. So leave a comment down below if you are doing a no buy in 2022. I will have sort of my low buy rules and sort of makeup goals that I want to look towards for 2022 video coming soon. So stay tuned for that, and also more project pans and content like that. If you guys did enjoy this, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I do post new videos 3 times a week, so if you want to see more from me, make sure to subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notified every time I post. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.